Hi, everyone. I'm Reeni. Welcome back to Secrets Within. Tonight, we are going to talk about black-eyed children. And I'm always interested to hear if you guys have any stories or anything like that. So I guess it's just kind of one of those things. I'm going to go through a couple stories that I've read and my theories. Right now, there was a story that I did read. And this lady and this man, they were an older couple, and they had a knock at the door, and they let these kids in to use the phone because that's what they claimed that they needed to do. And basically, they let them in. They had to use the bathroom, and they leave because they said that their ride was there. And the guy ended up having a nosebleed, and their lights went out for however long, a couple hours, we'll say. So the lady did say that she did see a tall, slender man, had some Men in Black glasses on, we'll say. And there was two. So they went ahead, kind of waved, whatever. A couple weeks later, the guy ended up having skin cancer because he obviously went to the doctor because he's having nosebleeds. So that brings me to my next thing. All these people who have claimed to see these black-eyed children, they all have said that they have just terror, okay? Now, there was a guy on YouTube who claimed that he made this static electricity sound to lure in these kids. Now, I did have a conversation with a friend of mine today, and we are actually going to try to see if we can actually go ahead and try to come up with that sound. Not that I want them in my house. It'd be something that we would do out in the country. Just to say that, as paranormal investigators, we do want to try to debunk this thing. Because what are these children? Why are they children? Are they demons? Are they aliens? And a lot of people go to say that they're vampires because they have to be invited in. Now, that brings me to my next. And it's only my theories, by the way. It's not anybody else's. That's just mine. Again, having a conversation with a friend of mine today. We can put these things, or children, not things, children, into these categories of demons, aliens, or vampires. But I can't say that I do believe in vampires, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me there, because the stories go back to Louisiana and having whatever. But why do they have to be invited in? That is my question. So if anybody wants to chime in and, maybe figure that one out for me, that'd be great too. But there was another account, and this is where I'm having a problem. It started out with a guy. Then it started out with a woman. They were writing out a check by a movie theater, and these kids are knocking on their window, and they want in. And they all claim that if you look at these kids and you're not basically giving into them, their eyes just turn perfectly black. But why children? Why? But I think as adults, when we think about this, we're not going to have a child knock on the door and say, hey, well, I need to use your phone, but we're not going to give them our phone. But now, day and age, they have we all have electronics. I guess the first thing would be, well, is your cell phone dead? Because that would be my first thought. But again, so it brings me to something kind of funny. My daughter and I were, and mind you, my daughter's 11, and we were having a conversation today because she asked what the show was going to be about. And, you know, obviously I was telling her I was a little nervous, and she said, it'll be great, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, she said that she watched a YouTube video, and she believes, mind you, she's only 11, that they're aliens. But here's where it gets sticky, and I can't help but laugh because I have to make a joke about this. She's claiming that an actual human mated with an alien to make this child. Again, total joke, but it was funny. So let's go back to the frequencies that this guy is claiming. Now, again, make your own opinion, form your own opinion, whatever you got to do. I can't say it's the honest to God truth, but he went ahead, made this frequency. Again, it's a static electricity thing. I have not perfected it, but again, we're going to try it. And so this is how the story went. Again, a lot of people are claiming that it's not true. Honestly, I won't know until I, actually try it. So the guy decides he lives out in the country. He's going to, obviously he does want to experience this. And I think just for me personally, as a paranormal investigator, I would love to experience them. And I always joke, like if they knocked on my door, like, come on in. Probably adopt one. You just never know. But he made this frequency because from his understanding and what he's, heard and claimed, that they communicate with one another through this frequency. Now, again, I can't say it was legit, but just for the sake of argument, we're going to tell the story anyway. So day one, and mind you, he's got like a security camera outside his house. So anything that it's basically like a motion sensor. And he went ahead and he decided that he was going to, I don't know how he technically found out the static electricity, however it was. First day, nothing. Second day, his motion sensor went off. Third day, it was nothing. And I want to say it was about day, okay, James, it says, do they appear after a UFO sighting along with men in black? Okay, real quick, I don't think so. I've not had any, as far as my research went, I have not found that. But I am kind of curious about the tall, slender men in black, which is kind of bizarre if you think about it. Clearly, they're not parents, but maybe they are. Or, in my opinion, I think they are kind of aliens. But anyways, this guy, third, fourth day, I want to say, he ended up catching them on video. He did have to tweak the frequency a little bit. But he supposedly did capture it. Now, again, I went ahead and I read the YouTube videos like any normal person would do. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. It very well could be. But again, it's something to definitely try. Now, again, like I said, stories go on. Everybody's got some kind of account, or like I said, a lot of people claim that they are raised in underground tunnels, and they only appear at night. Well, I can't say that technically is true, because it does look like there has been accounts of people capturing them during the day, and they don't even know that they're seeing them. Well, another thing is they claim that they only come to people that know about them. So, which brings me to the first case. If they're an older couple, what happens if they didn't know about them? How do they target people? And then I guess the question would be, I know about them and they've never come to my door. But again, the sense of fear that comes over somebody, that come along with it. So again, I have to let everybody make their own assumptions, but I do kind of believe that they are aliens. But then again, a friend of mine and myself had this conversation today. The three categories: an alien. I mean, they have their own language, if that's what people are claiming. Vampire-like. They have to be invited in. And then we have the demonic form, because they are technically hurting people. So, again, I don't think that they're demonic. Well, they could be, but it's hard to distinguish what category they technically are in. So, like I said, there's been many, many accounts of these children. All the way, it basically started in 1980. And like I said, people find them in the woods. They're panhandling, supposedly. I don't know how you're going to panhandle in the middle of nowhere. They're out in the country. They want to ride. The sky's the limit. Now, again, they also say that these kids are between the ages of 6 and 16. Well, some say 18, but we don't know for a fact. I mean, so they're toddlers. But why children? Why do they have black eyes? Why do they get black eyes when they're upset? Because they're not getting their way. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things. Like, I think anybody as a paranormal investigator would say, yeah, I'm interested in this. But how many people have actually seen them? Because I haven't. I know some people have said that they have they're collecting haunted objects and they've captured these black-eyed children in their paintings. Well, how did you even get them in there? And what do they want? I think that's a huge question. What do they want? So if anybody's got any questions, please let me know. Again, and like I said, we always joke around. We get a playground, get them all together. But why do they only come in 2? Why don't they come in a pack? Well, I'm going to take a quick break real quick, and I will get back with everybody.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. That was a quick break, huh? All right, let's get back to our wonderful topic, black-eyed children. I just kind of lost it all there, kind of rambling on. Anyways, so, like I said, these kids get upset, their eyes turn black, they're pale. And I'm not sure who exactly said that these kids may be raised in an underground tunnel. I mean, if they're, pale, that would definitely make sense. They're not getting any sunlight. But again, I can't find enough on that. I can't find enough on pretty much anything at this point, because again, it just seems like it's all a myth in a weird way. But it's something that I really actually do believe in. And I'm very curious as far as actually experiencing one myself. And I know a lot of people would say that it's just nuts. But I don't think so. That's just like some people saying, I want to go up against a demon, or, I want to capture something, because this is something that I want to capture. And now I'm not saying I would technically let them into my home. But I would say that I would take a gander at going out to the country and, trying anything at this point, to kind of lure them in and see what does happen. Because again, I have to see for myself. And I think any one of us would say, well, I want to see for myself, or some of you may say, I don't want to. Me personally, I do. I don't know what I would do technically if they, knocked on my door. I can't say that I would technically invite them in. I have children too, so that's probably not going to work. But I do know, like I said, a friend of mine decided that we were going to go ahead and try this experiment. Now, I can't say that's going to work, but I can tell you that if I don't try, I don't know what's going to happen. But he did ask me, he's like, what's the end game? If you see this, what is your end game? And I don't know. I just want to capture it. Or, maybe I'll be so scared, run away. But that's probably the truth too. But again, it's definitely something that piques my interest. And I think it piques a lot of people's interest. Like, why? Why do you have to be invited into somebody's home? What technically are you? Are you an alien? Are you, a ghost? A vampire? Some people, like I said, that's their opinion. Or are they some sort of demon? Because I feel like we can put them into all these categories, but technically, what are they? And why children? Well, Melissa Hill, they are reported all over the United States and overseas. So, again, I can't say that there has been any reports because I live in Illinois. I don't know because I have not heard of anything like that here. But I'm going to try. And it's definitely a different show that I would, because I did try a couple weird experiments, but I didn't get anything. Because like I said, where are they? Where do I technically look? And it says that like forests, which brings me to my next thing, people in their trail cams. Now, I love Photoshop just as much as the next person, but it kind of seems like some of those photos are Photoshopped. I mean, a deer looking directly at this. I mean, with the technology that we have this day and age, I mean, they can Photoshop anything at this point. And I do believe that, because some of those pictures, I don't buy. I can't. And like I said, I always let everybody else make their own assumption on what's going on. But some of those pictures have been circulating forever. And like I said, these stories have gone on way before like we had the internet. Okay. And I know that they were plastered on some magazine. And that's when it really got started, as far as that goes. Because, everybody then had a story. But that's the thing. Everybody says that they had a story. But there's not a lot of people that have, really got anything besides on trail cams. And, I know they made a movie. I haven't seen that yet. I think that's been a while ago. But, a lot of people say that, hey, I have evidence, I have evidence, I have evidence. And that's just like going to somebody's home. I have evidence. Well, can you prove to me that this is really what happened? And no, really, I mean, I could tell you a story, but that's about it. But I really want to go with the alien thing. I will say that. But again, that's my opinion. And this is why. Now, I'm not saying, any other supernatural thing or whatever you want to call it doesn't have its own language. But if these children have their own language, don't aliens have their own language? I mean, they do. So, I mean, that is definitely something that we all need to look into. And like I said, using that frequency, if that doesn't work, there has to be another way that we can figure out if these children, or whatever you want to call them, well, they are children, technically. They take on the form of children. What technically are they? Because it seems like they could be in a lot of categories here. So, again, it's kind of one of those things. So, like I said, definitely I wouldn't suggest anybody just going to take a country road and looking for black-eyed children. Because, like I said, they do have a tendency to supposedly put curses on someone. And that's not, I mean, I believe that's like in your home or if you interact with them. But and then panhandling, that was a new one for me. I will say that. But I mean, what do they do with the money, obviously? Which I think was kind of funny. But again, why are their eyes black? I mean, these are just questions that I have. And I'm sure everybody's got questions on that. But again, it seems like there's these, like I said, men in black that show up for these kids when they supposedly need to use not cell phone, obviously, but their phone. And how many people have landlines anymore? But what kind of curse? Why is it? What else do they do? Why do they rip havoc on your life? How are they so powerful? Because if you think about it, and I'm not, can't say that I'm an expert on, aliens or anything like that. But there has been accounts that these children have had some weird webbed feet, which absolutely makes no sense. But again, I believe that they're aliens. And I know some people think that they're demons. And I think that's a question that all of us have. But why the black eyes? Why do they get so mad that their eyes turn black? And why are they so pale? And where technically do they come from? They everybody's like, oh, I found them in the woods. I found them in the woods. well, where in the woods do they live? What is there like a different dimension that they may live in? I mean, it's just weird questions that I think everybody has. And again, who are the big guys or these big men in black, slender guys? Who are they? Like, where do they come from? I mean, that's a weird, just to kind of see like some guy just pick up these kids that you don't know anything about, like, oh, they're here, my parents are here. Okay, and you just jump in the car and go. And then on top of it, if I'm going to let a black-eyed child into my car, I mean, they have to go someplace. Like I said, like 9 times out of 10, they're asking, oh, well, I forgot, my money at home. Can you take me home? Well, where's home? Like, where are we all going home? Like, where are we going? Where's home? Or like I said, there's a one account where this lady claimed that she's seen one. Well, her and her boyfriend were parking. That's not my business what they were doing parking. But she said that she's seen this child playing with her tire, and there should have been no one around. And she was about to get out and basically cuss the person out. I mean, naturally, if you're in the middle of nowhere and somebody's screwing with your tire, I mean, I would probably do the same thing, but it's a child. And nobody's going to really cuss a 6-year-old child out. And why is it the age between 6 and 16? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If it was like a 6-year-old child that came to my house and was like, can I use your phone? I probably would give him my phone. But I probably wouldn't invite him into my home and say, well, here, I'd probably stand outside and be like, well, here's my cell phone. But again, sometimes I think I'm still waiting for that knock on the door just to experience it. Like, what fascinates me about it, I think, is the fact that their eyes are black and they're kids. That's what I cannot figure out. But then again, as adults, we're naturally going to let kids in our home. Well, but then that's a line of, kid killers. You just don't know if they have guns. You just don't know anymore. But again, what are they? And I think that's like the biggest question that I have. What are they? Like, why do they need to be in your home? I mean, why do they have to be invited in? That's odd to me. But then a lot of people have said that they've seen them already in their home and they were not invited in. So that kind of defeats the whole invite them in thing. But how accurate is that? For an example, okay, guys, and I love this doll, and I know it's going to creep you guys out, but this doll has no eyes. And Melissa, I don't think they're seen by several people at one time. It's usually, like I said, kind of a random person. I guess they like to be secluded. They don't want they don't really, it doesn't seem like they want a bunch of people to know and a bunch of people to see them. But anyways, I found this doll. Of course, you guys all know me, and I'm always going to revert back to a doll. And there was a reason why I bought this doll. Because she has no eyes. Okay? No eyes whatsoever. Her name is Charlie, by the way. And she did remind me of a black-eyed child, just by her look. Okay? She's technically not a black-eyed child, but she kind of looks like one. So, again, I had to have her. Again, I would like to think that that's kind of what they look like. Maybe not with their little hair that way, but I'd like to think that that's with their eyes. I mean, if I had to look into their eyes, that's what I'd want to look into, kind of. But again, why children? Why? I mean, and who are the other guys? Who are they? Yes, Melissa, we know it creeps you out. By the way, that's my mother-in-law, so everything creeps her out. Anyways, again, as adults, we would naturally let children in our home, especially a 6-year-old. I mean, if you've seen a 6-year-old wandering a countryside, naturally you're going to say, okay, where are your parents? Yes, I'll give you a ride. But what kind of hell would they unleash on you? And then, like I said, when we were talking about the experiment that we're going to do, what happens if I accidentally invite them in? Like, they come to my house. I mean, do they technically follow you? I mean, do you just see them one time and then that's the end of it? Like I said, there has to be an end. I mean, I do know that I haven't planned this out real well as far as my experiment, but it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight. So, again, this is why I bought the creepy doll, Charlie. She's technically not a black-eyed child, but I adopted her because she looks like one, and honestly, probably really would adopt a black-eyed child. She came door and like little orphan kids. But anyways, I really do want to say that they're aliens. And I know that there's been many, many accounts all over. And these accounts started in, 1980? And honestly, we didn't have, I didn't have a cell phone then, and I'm pretty sure it's been so long ago, I feel old. We didn't have that. And they did have to be invited in. Why a telephone? Who are they going to call? And who are these guys that they're with that are black? And why are they wearing sunglasses at night? I know it sounded really bad there. But why? I mean, I guess that's the question, why? And I know a lot of people have written books about this, and basically it just seems like all there is stories. And I want to say that I believe the guy on YouTube that made that, static electricity sound, but I can't even say that that's legit. So again, without trying, I can't say that it is, but it is something that I will be doing. So make sure, in the next couple of weeks or month or whatever, it's going to take us a little bit. And we'll get that figured out. But again, like I said, now people are claiming that they're in their dreams, or they're in their house already. Well, how did you draw them in? Like, what attracts these black-eyed children to certain people? I mean, I want to believe it so desperately that, definitely I'll let it in. Okay. I do have a thing. It says, do you think the children form to seem more innocent? That way you would invite them in easier. I think so. Honestly, I really do think so. Because like I said, as an adult, you're not going to let a child wander in the middle of the night. You're going to give them a ride home, naturally. I would anyways. Not that I like to pick up hitchhikers or anything, but they're children. And they do seem innocent, because if you think about it, children are innocent. Well, some of them anyways. But that's the only thing I can think of is they are innocent. Children are. I'm not going to get into child killers at this point, because there's been many of them. But my question is, why do they have to unleash hurt upon somebody? It's like going into the demonic thing, like something demonic unleashes hurt on somebody, but they unleash hurt on somebody when they're in your home or they're in your car or whatever. But why would they have to hurt somebody? So that right there, like I said, is like, a lot of people think they could be demonic. They could be little demons. And then we were talking about ghosts. Can they be a ghost? Again, they came from somewhere. And I do believe that if they are aliens, like I said, I do believe that. I mean, they're intelligent. We all know aliens are. Children do draw people in by their innocence. I mean, honestly, let's look at it. My 4-year-old is, to me, in my eyes, perfect and innocent. And he is everybody else. And regardless if he had black eyes, I'd totally pick him up. Because he's just that darn cute. But they are innocent. But here's the thing. A 16-year-old is not that innocent. Okay? Actually, they're not that innocent. So how do they determine what age range goes to your house? Or they just randomly pick? I mean, I know that it would get me if like a 6-year-old, came to my house. I'd probably let them in. And the weird thing is I'm still waiting for that knock on the door. Like, yes, finally. But that's never going to happen. So again, it's true. Children are innocent, but where do these things come from? Like, they had to come from someplace. But again, they supposedly do have their own language, and it's something definitely I think we all need to look at. Because from what I'm understanding is aliens technically do have their own language. As far as demons go, I'm not going to get into that. But I really do believe that they're aliens. Like, they come down here, decided they're going to be in a child form, and then like they just prey on somebody. But then again, I'm still curious why people are getting sick or life is chaotic after they've been, these kids have been there. And that should be a good question. But like I said, I kind of do believe they're innocent. They're kids, and we can all say that. So again, I let everybody make their own decision on what they think. Okay, so again, there's a question. They do technically not physically, I can't say like physically attack you when they're let in. Okay, they don't physically attack you. Not that I've had any research on any of them physically attacking you. But I want to know how they, like, what kind of curse. I want to say curse, okay? But I'm pretty sure it's probably, I don't know what technically they unleash. I just know that, again, people have been diagnosed, again, this is just claiming, people have been diagnosed with cancer. They've had bloody noses. They've been in car wrecks. The list goes on. So what technically are they? So again, I don't personally want any harm coming to myself, and I hopefully nobody rushes out and tries something crazy and like, oh, well, she told me to do this. No, that's not what I told you to do. I'm saying for my own personal experience, I definitely would like to see one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short little break because we only got like 20 minutes left, and I'm pretty sure you guys are sick of me rambling on about the same thing over and over again. So I'm a little short break.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife. A book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So I'm going to go off topic a little bit because everybody that knows me knows that I love my haunted dolls. Everybody knows that. And I know we kind of touched base the last time we had a show about haunted objects and about how I'm a huge collector of haunted dolls. And I know a lot of people were like, that they honest to God do not believe there is haunted dolls. Like I said, my good friend Charlie here, my favorite one, she technically is not a black-eyed child. Okay, she's not. And I'll tell you something. This is why, again, I told you before, I was drawn to her because, like, her eyes are blacked out. She technically is a witch. Okay? I kind of didn't care about that. I just wanted her because I was drawn to her. And I definitely believe that. I believe that when you're drawn to something, again, she does kind of go into our topic because she has blacked out eyes. I don't know, she was creepy. And she did remind me of a black-eyed child. Now, again, technically, the doll itself is just a child, but the spirit inside is not. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what does this doll have to do with anything? Well, that's why I was drawn to her. And I believe that when you have something that you see and you're drawn to it, whether it be a purse or shoes or whatever, you naturally get it. And collecting haunted dolls is a huge, I don't want to say hobby, but it's a huge thing for me, only because I enjoy them. I enjoy working with them. I don't want to say play with them. I like to rearrange them and, whatnot. So, anyways, again, you guys are you guys are always going to hear about my haunted dolls. So, again, they are claiming that haunted dolls take a form of what they supposedly, some of them, like what they supposedly look like in their life. And they wanted basically a vessel to, kind of do their work or teach somebody. Or, again, there's demonic dolls out there. Not something that I would personally buy. But I have dolls that range from fairies to witches, to just, I have a Robert doll, again, that is supposedly haunted. And I always like to say supposedly because, like I said, a lot of people don't believe in them. But they do say that the spirit does just decides it's like, I'm going to take this vessel and I'm going to teach somebody something, or maybe just, hey, I'm haunted. And I know a lot of people go to the antique store and they buy these dolls because they're drawn to them. And then they get all their equipment out and they test these dolls and they're like, oh, that's not, that doesn't work. Now, I have personally bought these dolls from a lady who says that they're haunted. Now, I went to eBay. Nope, not at all. But Charlie here, like I said, this is why I showed everybody, because she doesn't have any eyes. And she does remind me of a black-eyed child. And she did have orbs coming out of her to basically say, hey, I'm here, when I first got her. So, of course, here I am, typing away, put my credit card down. And went ahead and got this doll. Now, a question was just asked, how much have I ever paid for a haunted doll? I am going to be honest. I spent $200 on a haunted doll. His name is Mark. He's a medium. I have not worked with him very much, but his story, his backstory anyways, is he didn't have any family, and he just traveled the world. And the reason why he took the form of that doll is because his work here on Earth, supposedly, was not done. He still felt like he had a lot of things to teach people. And I guess I had to have this doll. Again, I do happen to rearrange my dolls. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Not every single doll will communicate just because I'm looking at it or I'm using a pendulum. And yes, I have used a Ouija board with my dolls. Everybody's got their own theories on that. I'm not going to get into that. Do I use them for my doll's sake? Yes, I do, to communicate with them. I have one that's a fairy, like I said. Yeah, and that's a good question. Would you own a haunted doll? I know, I will tell you this. I remember when I first got, I wanted a haunted doll. And when I started questioning the people in the house, like, hey, and they thought I was nuts. They're like, oh no, she's joking. What led to one haunted doll is now 47. So like I said, they all take a vessel for, yes, Melissa Hill, 47. Now, they too take on any vessel that they would like. They can take, spirit can take, like I said before, jewelry, for an example, if they liked it. Dolls, anything, a picture. I own a haunted picture. And the story behind that is she was really sick and her parents never let her go trick-or-treating. So on Halloween, my sister-in-law get it set all up and, whatever, put her out so she could see all the trick-or-treaters. Weird, yes, I know. But it was actually a picture of her. That's what it's claiming. It's a very old antique picture. And I remember getting a hold of a couple of my friends and like, I really have to have this picture. And they're like, if you need that picture for some odd reason, buy the picture. It's like $13. But like I said, it has to be something that your household is comfortable with. Because I know some people in my house like, oh, it's the creepy doll that did it. The only doll that, I can say that, and I do look for creepy dolls, but unfortunately, the only one that I have is Charlie here. And again, there was a reason why. She looked like a black-eyed child. How do I store them? That's funny. Well, again, a case. All over, or there is some that I do happen to leave out. But I do store them in a case. And when I'm ready to communicate, and I always tell them, like, you are more than happy to roam around my house. And I do use jasmine incense. I don't know why that works for me, but it does. And it feels like then you're in kind of like a playground with like spirits, but good ones. I never bring anything in my house that's demonic. Any of that. And like I said, Charlie here, I got her because I was drawn to her and she did look like a black-eyed child. That's why she's here with me. And on top of it, it does show in the picture that she had orbs coming from her, which that was creepy, but I had to have it. And I will say that Charlie here, like I said, she's a witch. She does kind of resemble a black-eyed child. But she took a lot of clients on that were cheaters. Infidelity, I should say, not cheaters, infidelity. But again, kids didn't want to play with her. They always come with a backstory. And I think sometimes it's just you in general have to figure out their backstory on your own. Just because it worked for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Like, technically, is her name Charlie? Yes, her name is Charlie. I've worked with her enough. I know her name's Charlie. She connects with me through a pendulum. And I know what you guys are going to say. Don't play with those. No, don't play with those. And like I said, I do have dolls that connect through a board. Again, some connect telepathically. So again, I do store them in a case. I will say that there was one that I did buy, and he came in pieces. And I will tell you this, through 2 weeks, not myself, but my boyfriend, he went ahead and he had to piece every single piece of that doll together. These dolls are not prisoners. They're still free to roam. If they want to leave, and they don't have to stay with me, they can leave anytime that they want to. I'm not going to keep them hostage in their vessel. I've made that very clear. And I think a lot of people think that that's kind of the right thing to do. I got some of these dolls with the intention of like, okay, I'm going to free them. Well, I can't make sure that if they want to go, I'll be more than happy to help them. And by the way, Kurt, he's the one actually that's going to help me come up with my luring in of black-eyed children. He's the one that's questioned everything. I just said I was the brains, and he was the tech guy that had to do it. So, but no, they are they can leave at any time they want to. I'm not going to keep them prisoner. They have, just like, when we pass, we have every right to either stay, maybe choose a vessel, or move on. And if they want to stay, great. If they don't, I'll be more than happy to help them move on. But again, it should be something that everybody in the household should agree upon, because it is a spirit. And again, you can't just say, well, it was great, but you got to just put it on a shelf and let it be. And again, they choose whatever vessel that they want. And I think as paranormal investigators, we're also curious to see how kind of they work. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, their dolls are not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. Well, in my opinion, they do. Anybody else's opinion, that's theirs. But like I said, it's like I'm a huge collector of haunted items. Anything. I got some projects going on with a couple dolls that I have. But like I said, I did get a doll that came to me broken, and it took a couple weeks to get that doll back together. And I was the one that had to ask it, hey, do you want this? Do you want a new vessel? Do you want to leave? I mean, do you want to stay where you're at? Are you happy with that? He wanted to stay. And his backstory is he's a protector of women and children. And there seems like to be a ton of women in this house and a ton of kids in this house. So why wouldn't I have bought the doll? I mean, if it's going to protect my household, I'm definitely going to buy it. And I also have a doll that, and I hate to say this, is very protective of obviously her owner, and has the power of giving somebody a headache. Now, have I tried that out? I'd be lying if I said, I didn't, because I did, and I'm not proud of it. But again, for research purposes, I did try it. I mean, not on any family by any means. Just want to throw that out there. Do the haunted dolls affect the others that are not? Okay, so that's actually a really good question. Let's say that this doll, Charlie over here, breaks, and she wants a new vessel. now I have to go find her a new vessel, whether it be any doll. Well, she's going to have to choose which one she wants. And then I have to help guide her in there. And that becomes the process. And I do know that I've actually helped a friend guide a spirit into a vessel. And that was hard. I mean, honestly, that was hard. It felt like an eternity. And I was like, you got to know, you got to know. But like I said, if they do want to leave, I have no problem letting them leave and helping them find the light or wherever they need to go. But like I said, Charlie here, that's the only reason I bought her. I mean, I'm not here to cast spells on anybody. Like I said, she is a witch, but I'm not here using her as a witch. You know, I'm not who I am. Like I said, the only reason I got her is because she did look like a black-eyed child. And that fascinates me. Well, like I said, I own a couple, I own 47 dolls. And I did take a little bit of a break for a while. But I'm not sure. I don't think I have any more room, to be honest with you. I just kind of like creepier the better at this point. But I do want to give you guys a heads up. I do have some guests next week. So they're going to talk about their paranormal experiences. That'll be a ton of fun because I'm always curious what everybody else can get and their theories on things, and we'll just see what happens. But I want to let everybody know to have a safe and fun 4th of July. And I will see you guys next week.